We're Jill and Ray from Lead Graffiti, which is our letterpress lab and studio in Newark, Delaware.
Here in Step 1, we present our favorite letterpress workshop as an online workshop. So now you can be involved in a letterpress experience anywhere you have access to the web and the U.S. Postal Service.
You can think of this workshop as a map to a place, not as a destination. We want you to have some fun along the way. Think in a different dimension. Rewire your brain.
No previous design or letterpress experience is required. If you're a teacher, parent, or business professional, be sure to check out the final segment, which is labeled on the timeline at the bottom of the video.
If you are a student, here's a few things we think this workshop can do for you.
Having a serious collaborative project under your belt makes a great creative start to a semester. This workshop allows a dozen or more people to collaborate on a single book that nicely displays the collective effort of the whole group. The book can be a great stepping stone to other creative work.
If you're a design student, using typography is often a pretty abstract process. In class, you are often told to use the right typeface for the right job, usually by someone who has years of practice and experience with decision making.
Ideas are more flexible than typefaces. At Lead Graffiti, we tend to advise massaging the idea to fit the typeface. Start with the words. How can you change the way they look? What can you add to their visual tone of voice? Go with your gut. Don't plan or sketch too much.
For English students, the project provides an exciting focus on amplifying the importance of words and how words connect to ideas.
Students of history or engineering should find letterpress to be an informative playground for how things worked in the past and how they can be applied in the present. While you aren't working hands-on, you will see our hands working for you.
So now on to the project itself.
The example shown here is a 4-inch by 5-inch hardback 2-color book, which includes a title page, 12 creative pages, and a colophon. Binding the book doesn't require any sewing or gluing, and its structure lends itself to lots of opportunities for future projects.
The book can have an overall theme to add continuity, or none at all. Consider using a series of quotes from someone like Ben Franklin, or maybe a timeline of significant moments, or a long story compressed into just 12 sentences. The seasons or various holidays could be the basis for a timely theme, and random is always a possibility.
Before you register, consider downloading the digital files and try your hand at designing a page.
If you're a parent, try partnering with your child and let them make most of the decisions. Imagine the possible aha moments that could come from that experience.
Register for a workshop by going to leadgraffiti.com, click on Shop, and pull down to Workshops, the first option in the list. Look for this image. A locked up form represents the Meander Book workshop.
From here, you can click on any of the workshops to see what we are offering. In this instance, click on the Meander Book option to see the current offerings. We welcome your email inquiries about arranging a special workshop, especially for any group you represent.
So how do you design your page? Let's take a quick look at what we refer to as Step 2.
You will be responsible for designing a single 4-inch by 5-inch page using some form of text, either original or quoted. Ideally, there will be 12 different people or teams, each creating their single page layout.
Based on these page designs and using wood and metal type, Lead Graffiti will compose these layouts into what letterpress printers call a lockup.
To design your page, we provide you with 3 digital files to use.
The first file shows a blank 4-inch by 5-inch page actual size, including a border that defines your work area. The second file gives you 24 typefaces and a few extra characters that have been digitized from our studio collection. The last file offers more than 100 dingbats and visual ornaments if you want to add some finishing touches or decorative elements.
There are 3 ways you can produce your design.
Digitally by using Adobe Illustrator, or manually by carefully tracing onto tracing paper from a printout of the typefaces and dingbats. Manually by cut and paste or using clear tape from a printout of the typefaces and dingbats.
A critical requirement is that the type and images must be used at the supplied size, and all elements must be placed entirely inside the border frame. If you are using printouts, take care that they are printed at 100%.
The Step 2 video on our YouTube channel shows the complete process of us digitally designing a back-in-the-day page from beginning to end using Adobe Illustrator.
Please note, there was no plan and no sketch. We looked at the words we wanted to say and connected typefaces to those words.
And this is why that is important.
Too often when using a computer, defaults do the work where creative decisions could and should be yours. Having to isolate and deliberately position each letter provides a quite different result than what you get when you allow the computer to simply eject the type.
Laying out a page letter by letter forces you to consider, explore, and direct precisely how you'd like to choose and place each piece of type, spacing, punctuation, and visual element. You are in absolute control, and we want you to act like it.
During our Step 2 video, we continually explain our thinking, along with each decision and change.
Design students or anyone interested in typography should find it fun and useful to watch. Compare how you might go about the same project, working with the same words. Just short of an hour long, the video shows our entire process working with Illustrator.
With 40 years of experience as design educators, we feel that computers can suck the creativity out of design. Pouring type onto a page is not a particularly creative option.
This workshop is a useful mechanism for fighting back creatively, especially for students in their earlier classes.
Now you're ready for Step 3 of the process. Here we get to the heart of both the visual design work and the mechanics of letterpress printing.
Sometimes last-minute changes have to be made because a letter is simply caught between a very physical rock and a hard place.
Based on your page layouts, Lead Graffiti will use wood and metal type to compose your design into what letterpress printers call a lockup.
Each participant in a workshop will have 16 possible times to schedule a personal Zoom locking up conference. During your conference, you'll be watching and talking us through your design.
Letterpress type has a physical real estate that has to be dealt with. Small dimensional increments can require changing strategies, but we'll walk you through those issues and present options as they come up.
These are several full press lockups and the resulting text block from each.
Once Lead Graffiti has all 12 participant lockups completed, we'll schedule a Zoom meeting for Step 4 to print.
Here we will collect and load the lockups in our Vandercook cylinder presses to print the text block pages via letterpress in 2 colors.
Participants can observe and ask questions during the printing process as it is happening.
Once we have printed the pages and covers, you are ready for Step 5, the final step. After printing, we mail the participants 3 sets of the parts to make 3 complete books.
In a last group Zoom meeting, we take you through the Meander Book binding process, all amazingly completed with no sewing or gluing.
During the Zoom meeting, you can ask questions about any part of the process or how to adapt the format to future projects.
Here are 2 Lead Graffiti projects where we use the Meander Book.
The first is a book of 12 autobiographical poems by poet John Dorsey, written specifically for the project, revolving around an old railroad boxcar located in the woods behind his home.
The second utilizes a poem by Deborah Arnold about the Chesapeake Bay, emphasizing wood type on a mariner's map, and metal type is used to stylize visual elements of the region.
All in all, it's as simple as that. We estimate up to 1 hour for an introductory Zoom meeting, 2 hours on your own designing the page, 1 hour overseeing the lockup, an optional 1 hour Zoom meeting overseeing the printing, and 1 hour assembling your Meander book.
And as a bonus, Lead Graffiti designates a copy of each Meander book for the Rare Book and Special Collections Division at the Library of Congress and Special Collections at the University of Delaware Library.
For groups from a school or university, we'll also include a copy for their school's library.
So there you have it. Put your thinking cap on, get in touch, sign up, and plan to have some typographic fun with Lead Graffiti.
As promised, here is more information aimed at teachers.
We sell the workshop as a price per page. If an instructor, school, parent, or organization wants to buy out an online workshop all at once, we will reduce the cost by 2 pages. That's 16% off.
Additionally, you may have a class of 24. Just pair the students up 2 per page and the price is the same. If the amount of work is the same for us, the price is the same for you.
If you teach a beginning letterpress class, this workshop would be a fantastic way to start a semester. Go about your usual process, showing your studio's layout, equipment maintenance, safety requirements, etc. During their time outside class, any students taking this online letterpress workshop could be learning many details about hand-setting type, using press furniture, using spacing and leading, and locking everything together tightly.
If students do all the Zoom meetings, they will see how to use 2 Vandercook cylinder presses, our SP15 and our Universal 3. They'll see us lock up 12 pages worth of design. Students will also get to learn the Meander bookbinding process.
And they end up with a killer project to show for it, as well as 3 copies of the book they worked on.
A student should also come out of this workshop with a great sense of playfulness with type. Working in the letter-by-letter way of letterpress is a great way to get a different and significant feel for typography. We like to say it gives spiritual weight to the letter forms, and we don't mean the weight of type metal.
Teachers are free to add time at the start of the workshop for class critiques and group discussions about the creative goals before passing along the students' finished layout files to us. To give it a test run, you can download and use the digital type and dingbat files and see what happens.
If you're a parent or maybe just an adventurous adult, there are applications of this book that have some excellent keepsake possibilities. One of those is to get 12 family members to write a short remembrance about occurrences in the life of a couple celebrating their 50th wedding anniversary, a significant birthday perhaps, or other milestone.
If you're a business professional, consider using the book as a promotional piece for your company. Give copies of the book to important contacts to get your company noticed again. Or simply use the workshop as a unique team-building experience for your people.
Thanks for considering this Meander Book letterpress workshop from Lead Graffiti.
Subscribe and like.
Make us feel good.
Really good.